Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. Despite their vigilante and calculated manner, animals can make mistakes. Sometimes these mistakes end up costing them far more than they anticipate, like this dog who tried to cross but got stuck. Here is what happened next that shocked everyone. Deer antlers stuck. A deer was found with its antlers entangled in a rope by the fence in East Sussex Wildlife Reserve in England. Before the animal could be helped, the rescuers had to calm the animal down by wrapping it around in a net and grasping control over its body and covering its eyes. After the deer stopped struggling, they started cutting the rope off that wrapped around as the animal moved in panic. They only had about 30 minutes to rescue the deer, as they tend to get stressed, which can impact a deer's health. After several minutes of effort, they finally managed to free the deer. Leopard head stuck in pot. Perhaps its curiosity got the better of him. A hungry leopard from a nearby sanctuary got its head stuck in a pot in a village in India. After catching the scent of someone cooking, the leopard ended up having its head stuck in one of the cooking pots, only to find its head stuck. Knowing the risks of getting too close to a wild carnivore, none of the villagers were willing to remove the pot. As the news reached forest officials, they arrived on the scene and tranquilized the animal to safely remove the pot. Shortly after it was removed, the leopard was free. Puppies rescued from tar. 3 small puppies were found lying on tar that had hardened in India. With most of their paws submerged deep within the rock-solid tar, the puppies weren't able to move an inch, and as a result, were crying for help after being in distress for hours. With tar already dried up and too rubbery to cut through, rescuers from the Animal Aid Unlimited had to remove the entire chunk of it from the ground, after which the puppies were given several oil baths and massages for several days to soften and slowly remove the tar. Finally, most of it came apart, freeing the little bundles of joy. Man rescues sharks. Handling sharks with bare hands can be dangerous, but desperate times ask for desperate measures. No Dreyer is a wildlife enthusiast from Namibia who got a call about sharks that were trapped in a tide pool, to which he stepped in to help. With the day being hot, led to most of the water drying up, and it was only a matter of time for the sharks before they ended up dead. Upon seeing that the sharks weren't too big, he decided to use his bare hands to help him. With the sharks slapping around his wrists, and after several failed attempts, he decided it was better to beach them first and then grab them with the help of other people on the beach and get them into deeper water. Head stuck in feeding barrel. With all the joy dried out of a zoo near Eindhoven, Netherlands, the zoo officials decided to think outside the box and made lion feeding a bit more attractive. They placed the meat in a barrel for 3 brother lions who had to make an extra effort to get the meat out. In an attempt to feed, one of the lions got its head stuck in the barrel as the hole got bigger over time. The lion struggled to get it off on its own, but failed to do so. According to local sources, a veterinarian was summoned after closing time, who shot the lion to sleep and cut it free. Talking beached orca. An orca was found stranded on a beach as the tides went out during the day in British Columbia, Canada. Locals were desperately trying to keep it alive by dousing her with water, while one of the onlookers can be seen comforting the orca with a chat.
What can I do for you, sweetie? Yeah.
Whale experts were called in who appeared on the scene as the tide started coming back. They monitored the orca until the tide was high enough for it to be able to swim away. Lamb rescued from pipe. A couple of children, while playing in the front lawn, heard sounds of an animal in distress somewhere under the ground. As their parents partially dug into the ground, they found a pipe in the ground to be the source of the sound. After several minutes of cutting the pipe open, a lamb was stuck inside who was now saved. Video source reported that this lamb had been missing for days until it was finally found. Horses stuck in frozen pond. During a snow blizzard, 4 Montana horses fell into a deep pond after cracking thin ice. Upon discovery, South Kalispell Fire Department were called in for help in the rescue effort. As the news spread, neighbors, animal control, and staff from a nearby farm came to help by working together with the firefighters in trying different ways to get the agitated animals out of danger. Eventually, after 3 hours, all 4 horses were pulled from the water and taken for veterinary care. Horse with overgrown hooves. A new owner of a horse stable found a horse that seemed to be in a condition as it was abandoned in the barn for a while. Upon investigation, it was found to be stuck in there for 14 years while living a miserable life, having 30 pounds of overgrown hooves, which were long enough to hinder the horse's ability to walk. The horse seemed rather disconnected mentally, as the humane officer was called in to trim the hooves off the horse. With a lot of patience, hard work, and tremendous amount of sawing, they managed to get this buddy a fresh new look with an endless boundary to run through. Squirrel tails entangled. This video was taken in Multnomah Village, Portland, by an unknown source showing a group of squirrels who had their tails entangled with each other. This Good Samaritan decided to help rescue 5 juvenile squirrels who had their tails entangled together in a tight knot full of sticky sap, which had them immobile and vulnerable. At first, an attempt was made to call in the experts, but they were unavailable due to the wildfires. After an hour of struggle, they were able to untangle the tails and rescue the squirrels. Bear rescued from culvert. Although bears pose a great danger, this bear seemed too desperate to resist being rescued. A black bear was found stuck in a culvert close to Colorado. Colorado Parks Wildlife were called in to rescue this poor animal bear. A crane was brought in to lift the bear out, seeing how narrow the place was. By using belts, they strapped the bear and pulled it out. It seemed quite exhausted, as it may have remained stuck in there for a while, and probably must have been too weak to be aggressive. Stuck under concrete. This bear definitely looks like a scarier version of Winnie the Pooh. A huge grizzly bear was found stuck under a concrete pit in Turkey as construction workers were digging nearby. Since the opening hole was too narrow, the bear couldn't make it out on its own. To his luck, heavy machinery was near and was used to help assist the stuck bear. With bigger holes being made on the concrete, the bear intelligently started pushing the dirt away to be able to escape. Finally, after a few minutes, the bear was able to escape, although no one knows how it ended up there in the first place. Buffalo trapped in sewer. Unlike the elephants, the sewer in which this buffalo got trapped had a rather narrow opening and was hidden in plain sight. A clip posted in June 2016 shows firefighters who started rescuing a buffalo that fell into a sewage drain in Guizhou province in China. As it was part of a ranch owner's livestock that went missing, it compelled the owner to launch a search party. The poor buffalo was found stuck in a drain, probably while grazing along the roadside. As a result, he called in firefighters who spent half an hour to rescue this buffalo using a rope that was tied around the buffalo and hauled it out with a crane. And now, let us move on to our subscriber pick of the day. This image was sent to us by one of our subscribers. Similarly, if you ever wish to know more about an image you come across, just send it on over to us. Who knows, we might even feature it in one of our videos. This picture and video were taken on November 5th, 2022, when a dog was found stuck between a gate and the wall just below the hinges. According to a local source, this stray dog was attempting to enter the residential area as the gates were closing. Upon desperation, it decided to use a small opening on the side of the gate to enter, only to realize it a bit too late after its head got stuck. After hours of struggle and calls for help, a group of friends stepped in and helped the poor dog free. See you next time!